Howdy howdy, my name is John and this video is a double tag video, the end of the year book tag and the Are You Like Jane Austen book tag. The first tag I'm going to do is the end of the year book tag. I was tagged for this by Lady Jane Book. She actually tagged me at the very end of 2020, but it was so close to the end that I didn't really have time to film it and put it out. So I promised her that I would do it this year. So now we're getting close enough to the end of the year to do it. The original was by Ariel Bissett. She's already released her version of the tag for this year, so I know it's time to do it. Question 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? This is the landmark Julius Caesar. This is a read-along sponsored by David Wiley. We took 2 months to read the Gallic War. In October, we will read the Civil War, and then in later months, we'll cover the Alexandrian War, the African War, and the Spanish War. Question 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Not really a seasonal reader, so I don't have a book that meets this. Question 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Tryst of Fate, the 45th book in the Zant series, has a release date of October 5th, and I'm really excited. The 44th book came out in February, and I gave that book 5 stars, so I'm really excited to see if Anthony can follow up on the previous book. Question 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? The first one is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This will be a read-along sponsored by She Was Only Evie, and we're planning on reading this in December. The next book is The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. This is a read-along sponsored by David Wiley, and I think this read-along is scheduled for November. The last book I'm planning on reading is My True Love Gave to Me. This is 12 short stories. This book was actually recommended by Lady Jane Book, so since she tagged me for this video and recommended this book, I thought I would include this one. Question 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? So, Tryst of Fate could become my favorite. There's a chance The Bear and the Nightingale could become my favorite. And then the last 2 books of The Black Company, there's a chance that one of those could become one of my favorites. Question 6. Have you already started making reading plans for 2022? So yes, David Wiley is sponsoring a read-along of The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings is separated into 6 individual books, and so we'll be doing a book a month from January to June. I had originally planned on starting the Mode series in September, and I've kind of put that off due to other commitments, but I am planning on picking this series up in January and reading through it. That will be a book a month. This tag is actually a fairly standard booktube tag, so there's no real need for me to tag anyone. If you feel like you want to do this tag, go right ahead. The next tag is Are You Like Jane Austen? This tag was created by Shelly Swearingen. Now, if you've seen Shelly's original video, you know that Shelly actually did a number of costume changes while she was making the video. And you know what? To get into the true spirit of Jane Austen, I feel like a costume change is in order. There, that's better. Prompt number 1. Jane Austen was an artist and writer. Give yourself a point if you're an artist. Give yourself an extra point if you are a writer. I'm neither of those things, for no points for me there. Prompt number 2. Austen was born to a large family. She had a total of 7 siblings. 1 sister and 6 brothers. Give yourself a point if you have 3 or more siblings. I only have 1 brother, so no point there. Question 3. Austen did not enjoy her formal education. Give yourself a point if you did not care for school. I actually enjoyed school, so no point for me there. Prompt number 4. Dark humor is woven throughout Austen's writing. Give yourself a point if you have a grim sense of humor. You must share a dark joke in order to get this point. Now, when I originally watched this, I didn't really want to share a dark joke. So I didn't give myself a point when I commented on Shelly's video. But I've watched a lot of other people do this tag now, and I don't know that I've actually seen anybody give a dark joke. So to make up for that loss, I'm actually going to give you 3. The source of the first joke is from Centaur Isle by Piers Anthony. This is the 4th book in his Xanth series. A man does not know what true happiness is until he gets married, and then it's too late. The second joke is adapted from the television show Rectify. In this show, a man who was on death row gets released. As he's riding home with his sister, they make a joke. The sister calls the joke gallows humor, to whereas the man replies, "We don't call it gallows humor on death row, we call it lethal injection humor. It's more humane." The last joke is from Shadow Games by Glenn Cook. And this joke is so offensive that I'm not actually going to read it. I have placed it on a screen. I'll show it for 1 second. If you want to read it, go ahead. I will admit I did find this joke funny. To set the joke up, it's talking about the general of an army who is getting ready to siege a city. Prompt number 5, Jane broke off 2 engagements and died a spinster. Give yourself a point if you are single. Yes, never been married. Prompt number 6, Austen experienced low periods or spells of depression. Give yourself a point if you have struggled with mental health. Again, this is one that I didn't really think I qualified for when I watched Shelly's video. But as I've thought about this and as I've watched other people's videos, I do have had a couple of periods that were really low moments in my life. I have also suffered from anxiety, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself a point for this. Prompt number 7. Jane moved away from her childhood home in her 20s. Give yourself a point if you've lived away from your childhood home, town, or region. Now, the only time I ever lived away from home was when I went to college. I did go to college about 200 miles away, so I am going to give myself a point for this one. But literally, when I came home from college, I moved nearly next door to my parents. Prompt number 8, Jane was not vain. Give yourself a point if you have very little interest in vanity. Yeah, I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy, so I will give myself a point for this one. Prompt number 9, hair was of little concern to Austen. Give yourself a point if you cannot be bothered with your hair. Yes, I keep my hair short. I have to cut it about once a month, and that is all I do to it. I trim my beard about once a week. That way I don't have to shave every day. Prompt number 10, Austen expressed her distaste for hot weather. Give yourself a point if you dislike the heat. Now, I cannot give myself a point for this one. My ideal range is about the high 70s to low 80s. That's in degrees Fahrenheit. But I get outside and I will work in, 95-degree heat in the middle of the day. I don't know if my farmer's tan is going to show up on camera, but yeah, I spend some time out in the sun. Alright, so when I added this all up, I got 6 points, and the range for 6 to 7 is you and Austen are friends. You two could enjoy a long walk in the country and chat about all the things you have in common. Now, I am going to tag some people for this, and I'm actually going to tag some guys for this because guys can be like Jane Austen too. For this set of questions, I'm going to tag Steve Talks Books and Stuff, Tom L.A. Books, Jeremy Fee, Pay From Attention, David Wiley, Ian from B&B Books, and Hugo at Scientist Reading World. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.